There's one saying, man's strength is measured in his attention, and in this video I just wanted briefly to walk over actually the situation I see happening right now between the relationships woman and man, and it's pretty interesting to see, actually, to watch where the century, where the generation is going and has come so far. So for example, like in back days we had like those romantic evenings, romantic moments, and so on. In order to get to a date, you actually needed to invest your energy by a lot. You needed to try, you really needed to try, and then maybe after one date or two, and those dates are like, for example, there is a restaurant, a date with a meaning. There is a restaurant, there was a jazz playing in the background. You exchange with values, actually care about the person, about their values, and so on. So there was like, you know, that you were climbing stairs to achieve something, to get that reward, that which is the next step in a relationship. You're more open to each other and so on. So in these days, you pretty much already know the situation. I don't have to describe. There is a Tinder, and there's a boys, and there's also the same about women. Only have one thing in mind, so you know what I'm talking about. And the relationships anymore, the connection isn't that valuable in this generation, which I think is a little bit fucked up, you know. So with that said, why I am creating this video is only just to express how I see the world when it comes down to relationships, and how you should, in my opinion, react to this world and how to operate throughout, you know. Because all these playboys, gangsters, bad boys, and so on, this is more for men. Hey guys, like that you see Dan Bilzerian and so on, those other guys just hooking up with women, a lot of women. It's just not really correct, and I'm gonna describe you why and so on a little bit later on from my experience and how I see the things. But it's an interesting fact that actually, and I have seen that my own eyes, actually, like women are more likely actually to cheat, guys, which is funny. So in back days it was actually opposite, because men had the power. Right now also kind of like the man has the power, not kind of, but they have in a relationship mostly, but it's drastically changing and so on. It gets mixed, there's no clearness anyways. And the same about motivation, we can like compromise and go a little bit philosophical, that you don't need motivation, you need clarity. So the same also goes with relationships. And I understand, like, there's a youth, there is like, you have to enjoy that you're young and so on, but in my opinion it's completely bullshit. And here's why. First of all, guys, those ones who are masturbating and so on, their ass is off and watching the orange cinema cartoon on the internet, you know what I'm talking about. So here's really a thing, guys. I understand you have your hormones and so on. I have had talk about this topic with my team, with my friends and so on, and it really comes down to that there is something magical. I didn't remember exactly the name, but there is inside your nuts a fucking power, a energy. And if you do it every single day, every second, third day, every fourth day, fifth, like, you're gonna be like, your body gonna optimize for that specific event, and it's gonna trigger your mind. I have to repeat, because it's generating dopamine and so on. So you as a man, you become weak. You don't have actually the energy, because what we have in nuts, in those fucking balls, it's generating us a energy. All right. So for you, in my opinion, for men, if you're still like swiping Tinder and proceeding one action only on that specific app, then you are weak, and you are becoming weaker by a lot. You lose, first of all, the connection between relationship, which are all the values. Second, you lose actually the energy that you could have. And third, your mind starts optimizing for short-term rewards instead of long-term rewards. So for example, if there is a situation in business, for example, or any other sector of life, you're more likely to proceed with the dumb decision, which is short-term instead of the long-term. And you probably gonna not be able to say like, hey, no, this is not correct, I'm gonna go with the long-term, because you have optimized already your subconscious mind to perform these short-term actions. Which means, there is a saying, play small or play stupid and get small. Didn't remember what was exactly the sentence, but anyways, I think everyone who is watching this, if you're proceeding with a relationship, any kind of relationship, there should be a value added. And it doesn't matter, for example, you have got, let's say, on a bigger stage of life, bigger level, where, yeah, you know, you can even buy a woman and so on. It's just not needed, guys. That's the reality. It's just gonna fuck over your mind. For example, when you're working, it's just gonna walk through your mind, you know? And it's not really something you want to have. Personally, for me, I am completely strange in other eyes perspective scenario. I'm a little bit different when it comes down to women. For example, I am fucking super picky. In the last 2 years, I'm gonna be straightforward, I have done something, but I haven't, for example, dated a girl. And I want to be fully transparent, because I have my bar, that what I have set for. And when I have some kind of exchange, some kind of exchange, then this is my philosophy. It can be for you completely different, but it's just that I am giving a piece of my energy to the other person, and the person gives her specific energy to me. So here is how we can use actually those situations when we have, for example, relationships, and make them more meaningful, because that's how people are. That's why people are alive, because there's a meaning always behind something. So what I mean with meaning is that relationships actually are created by value, which is meaning. So there is exchange between. And if you have higher percentage of exchange, there's more likelihood actually the relationship gonna stay healthy and gonna improve. So with that said, you as a guy, you can ask like yourself, hey, what I can take actually from women? What women are better at than men? It can be trait skills, for example, psychology or manners or something like that. So you can find yourself what that specific girl that you're dating, for example, has better than you as a man. And then the same also goes for women. How do you can find that exchange and focus on that, on elevate, press, because it's just gonna create that harmony where the empires are built when it comes down to couples, for example. So you don't want to be the guy who is nutting all over the place. Don't do that. What you see on social media is biggest bullshit. It not only gets you out of the rhythm when you're working, for example, it gets out of the rhythm of your future. It slaps your future in the face. It's that bad. I cannot go in hard science language, why that, what's inside there, and so on. But for you, especially youngsters, chill the fuck down. You have to build something. You have to build your own empire, right? You have to build yourself up. And along the way, you're gonna see multiple nice scenarios are going to come along. So with that said, you don't want to be the guy whose attention goes to everyone. You want to be a guy whose attention goes actually somewhere. And it's achieved by controlling your attention. You have to be strict about that. Because if someone plays with your attention, they are playing with your time. And you have only one life in this lifetime. Don't make stupid decisions, because the number one thing, like, here is the thing. I have pretty huge access to a multiple huge names in the world, really successful ones. For example, like 2 days ago, I had a call with a guy who had an opportunity. He was a Steve Jobs mentor, actually, actually all of them, they are all older people, by the way, and all of them are always saying like those, oh, 5 things I would know when I was 18, when I was 16, when I was 20, and so on. And it's always like those women, those cars, flashy things, and so on. So the pattern really repeats, all right? And that's only the basic level of mistakes that we are making as a youngsters. And I don't want that you are on that side, because then you just increase the percentage for your failure. I think you want to use your lifetime and be with fullest capacity inside the moment and discover what is that your best. Of course, you don't have to like go nuts crazy, only like you're really systemized, optimized, biohacking the shit out of yourself and so on. No, you have to have enjoyment, but there should be a limits, and you have to train those limits to actually feel them, because then only you can understand what are those limits. With that said, that's quick brainstorm, not brainstorm, just a keynote, Anyways, that's it. Guys, you want to be the guys who are having a real value-driven relationships, instead of short-term stupid decisions. And the woman, the same. For women also, seek for guys with potential, not status. That's completely different topic. Anyways, have a nice and see you in the next video.